Hey guys, so today's video is going to be all about our wedding and just different things about it. I've been getting some questions. People want to know the vendors that we use, and I'm definitely going to leave all of the vendor information down below because it would be a lot to go over in this video. So, you know, all of my vendors, from our decor people, my wedding planner, big shout out to her. I love you, Jewel. You did an amazing job on our wedding. Our camera and video people, our cake lady, what else? The girl who did my makeup, the girl who did the bridesmaids makeup, the dresses for my bridesmaids, the tucks for the groomsmen. All that information will be down below. So what I did, I wrote out a list of different things. I talked about two things. I know my biggest thing, I definitely wanted to have a budget-friendly wedding. Well, to be honest, you know, we went over budget, and you know, I don't want to get into exactly how much the wedding cost. A few people asked what was our total amount. I feel like that's a little too personal, but you know, I definitely will let you guys know that the budget, we did have a budget of about $25,000, and that was a you know, wedding of like 350 people, which we learned that there were more than 350 people there, closer to you know, between the 350-400 range. So definitely doing a wedding for that amount of people is, you know, gonna be on the higher end of the scale. It's not gonna be you know, 15,000 or 20,000. So that's one thing we had to get over. I will say that we did go over our budget by about, you know, let's just say we went over our budget more than $10,000. So that should, you know, kind of give you an idea of what things cost without just saying it. But basically, so there were a few items that we splurged on for the wedding that, in my opinion, we splurged on. Maybe we could have found these things cheaper, but they definitely were like the essentials, the key pieces for our wedding. Number one would be alcohol. On our alcohol, we did have an open bar, and we had you know, pretty much top shelf stuff. We had Hennessy and, you know, Ciroc and stuff like that, Remy Martin, things like that. And the alcohol, you know, we spent a good amount of money on that, and, you know, closer about $5,000 on alcohol, and we did actually have some to take back, so that worked out perfectly. We were able to return about $1,000 worth of liquor and wine, so that was perfect. Also, our cake. Our cake was the item that I never really wanted to splurge on, but we did actually spend a little bit more on the cake. The cake was, you know, a little more than $1,000. It's just, it is what it is. I love the cake. It was really pretty. I loved it. I barely even remember tasting the cake, but I believe we had, I know there was a red velvet layer and there was vanilla pound in it. I think it had cream cheese frosting. That's what we had for our cake. Our fruit display, that was something that, you know, is okay, not obviously not necessary at a wedding, but it is one of the things that, you know, that we decided that we wanted. Mayo's mom really wanted us to have it, so we went ahead and got that. We ended up going with it was a big display. It had two palm trees kind of things, and she put fruit all along the trees. The whole thing was pretty much edible, and then we had a fountain in the middle, and then also it had our picture rotating. I think it was 2 tables put together, so it was a really big thing. And you know, that alone was, you know, a little over that was basically $2,000. You know, again, that's something that we just splurged on. It's not necessary at your wedding, but it definitely is a wow factor. All of our guests loved it. It was really, really pretty, and I'm glad that we did have it because it just, you know, made our event that much more pretty. And you know, people, and when I tell you they ate that fruit, they tore that fruit up. So that was good. It wasn't a waste. And then also our decor. Now for decor, I do feel you know, you definitely don't have to spend what we spent. You know, you can find cheaper options out there, but I knew what I wanted. I know how I wanted it to look, and basically we you know, I just went on Pinterest and all that, just like everyone does. I went on Pinterest and I found different ideas of what I like. My wedding planner helped me with it, and we came up with the perfect decor. And when I went in the hall for the first time, because me and Emmanuel did a little private, you know, first look and first dance in our hall, in our venue setup before all of our guests got there. Now we didn't do a first dance before the wedding. I mean, a first look before the wedding. I definitely wanted to save that moment, but we just did a first look, you know, after the wedding and when we were going to stay at our venue. So it definitely wowed me. It was beyond what I was expecting. You know, just little details, something as simple as our cake stand, how they put extra flowers around it. I absolutely loved it. Our sweetheart stage it exceeded my expectations. All the decor on the table, I absolutely love the decor. So I'm glad that we, you know, splurged and did a little more for that. Okay, on the things that we were able to save money on. So on our save money items. So basically my dress. Now don't be like me. I went out and got my dress literally, I didn't even go out and get it. Now y'all know what I did first. I ordered a dress from China about a month before. I decided I hated that dress. I did not want that dress any longer. So I was going to buy this dress from David's Bridal that was about like $300 or something. I tried it on and I liked it. Well, the day I was going to David's Bridal to go purchase it, I think the dress was $500. I think it was like $4.99. So the day I was going to purchase that dress, I actually something told me to just go look online on davidsbridal.com, and that's exactly what I did. I looked on David's Bridal. Lo and behold, they were having a sample sale. So I ordered my dress from sample sale. They literally had one in my size. I ordered that dress, and I actually got like a coupon code, and the dress was $249. Took off $50, so $199, and then I paid like an additional $50 to get the dress really quick. So I did expedited shipping, and it came even before the date it was supposed to come. And when I tell you the dress fit me perfect, I got 0 alterations done on the dress. Now, but like I said, don't be like me. Do not wait till the last minute, because that literally was like a gift from God when I tell you like how it just worked out perfectly like that. So that's a key I can tell you guys, to look for sample sales. Definitely, if you have time, look in your area at sample sale dress, different sample sales that they're having. Now there was a chance that something was wrong with my dress, but there was absolutely nothing that I could see with my naked eye that was wrong with the dress. Now a tailor or a professional would probably tell something different, but to me, it was a perfect dress. So I got the dress, loved it. My shoes, I can't remember if I got the shoes before I got the dress or after I got the dress. I got these shoes from Neiman Marcus last call, I believe, at Grapevine Mills Mall here in the DFW area. I had been looking at these shoes. I was looking on different sites to find them used. Well, my friend was like, she kept telling me to go check out like the outlet, and I was like, okay, fine, I'm gonna go. I went there and I found one shoe. I'm telling you, like, all these things were literally like godsend. So this was a Jimmy Choo shoe. Normally, like, I think retail is probably like $800–900. I got the shoe for $241, and I definitely wanted a shoe that I could wear later, that I could still wear after the wedding, and I could still wear this shoe with a fancy dress and stuff like that. So that worked out perfectly. Okay, my accessories. I got all of my accessories like literally a week before the wedding. Again, I'm crazy, I know, but those things were like just a little last finishing touches that I needed to get done. So I went like a week before the wedding. I got these earrings here. Let me see. So these were my earrings. I got them at Charm & Charlie. They were about like $15, something like that, and they worked out perfectly. I was sending my cousin, she was one of my bridesmaids, Asha, I was sending her different pictures of different earrings, and she was like the real MVP for real. She kept putting together like different like a little photo grid of like my dress and my shoe and then the earring too. So we decided to do something small, and it worked out perfectly. I'm so glad that I didn't do something like dramatic and really big. I really like the small earring a lot better. My bracelet, I got that from Sam Moon. It was $4.50, and you couldn't even tell it was $4.50 like from pictures and everything. It looked like it was one of their like it's just fake costume jewelry, obviously, but it was beautiful to me. Okay, so my veil. Now y'all know these veils and everything like at David's Bridal and all these different like bridal shops are like hella expensive for no reason. Like that's just the kind of thing that again, it's one of those things where I just couldn't see myself spending money, like big money, on something like that. So this is my veil that I got. It's like a 2-tier veil with little rhinestones on it. I ordered this the week of the wedding on Amazon Prime. It was 20 bucks. I basically looked at a veil very similar to this at David's Bridal, and that veil was like $200. So I got this brooch also from Charming Charlie's, and on the day of the wedding, my wedding planner sewed it to she sewed the brooch to my veil, and I was able to wear it, and it looked very pretty. Again, you would not know that this was a $20 veil. So the items like the guest book and my garter and the pen for the guest book, the owl runner, which we never end up using. I brought it, but for some reason it just didn't get put out, but it's all fine. My owl runner, also my tiara. This is the only thing I have here to show you. All the other stuff is like packed up at Emmanuel's mom's house because we just didn't have space to keep all those things here. I got all of those things along with my tiara at Hobby Lobby when they were having a 50% off sale on all of their like wedding stuff. It's a line called His and Her, I believe, at Hobby Lobby, and definitely look for them when they're having 50% off. It's like the real plug, and it's worked out perfect. I want to say like this veil was like $21.99 regularly, so you know, about $11 for the veil. I mean, for this tiara, sorry. So what I did, I wore this tiara at the reception. Once I took off my veil, I put on this tiara. Okay, I got my Bridesmaids Bouquets from an area in Dallas called Harry Hines. It's like a street, and I don't know, they sell like wholesale stuff. There we go. So I went to like a silk flower shop, and I got my Bridesmaids Bouquets for $8 each. They were normally like $10, but we talked the lady down because I was getting 10 of them, and she gave me each set for $8. And I think these are like peonies or something like that, but you know, I literally priced them out, and you know, I thought about making them myself, getting them like at Michael's and stuff like that, and making them myself. But once I like looked at everything, I even looked on Amazon and eBay ordering flowers, and to me this was cheaper because I needed to get like so many. A few of my girls, I don't even know what happened to all the rest of them. I know that I think I have 3 of them myself, and I use them around the house for decor, and it looks so cute in the house. So I'm glad that I was able to incorporate these items from my wedding, because my bouquet was actually a real it was real flowers, and my decor vendor threw that in as like a bonus, you know, since we, you know, got so much with him. So he decided to give that to me. So, and then I don't know what happened to it after I threw it. Okay, my invitations, I saved on those because I did a DIY for my invitations for all of my paper things, my invitations and the program at the reception and the programs at ceremony. I did all of those myself. I just bought files on Etsy and then designed it on my computer and took everything to Staples and had them printed out. So since I needed so many invitations, this is one that actually returned to me. I literally had no extra ones, but this one returned to me, so I had this one around the house. You know, I did everything. There's a video on one of my vlogs where I showed you guys exactly how I made everything. You know, we had this here on this card, and then I put like this little paper, and then the other side we just had the different things like the RSVP part, the reception, and the wedding information, stuff like our hotel block and stuff like that. So I know for sure I made 200 invitations. I had that I spent about $350 on invitations, which again, if I would have ordered this from like Wedding Paper Divas or somewhere like that, we would have been spending a lot of money, especially since I wanted this pocket style, like the envelope, this pocket thing. We would have spent a lot of money on invitations. Saved a lot of money there. And for the other ones, I don't have them here to show. I wish I kept a copy of them for myself. And then on the programs and the reception cards, we did about, I spent probably about $125 on those. So the programs for the church, we made 60 copies and we end up not even having enough. And then for the reception little things, the reception, I guess, cards, I don't know, reception programs, I got a file that had 2 per page, so I needed 350 of those, and that worked out good. Okay, also on my dress, I'm gonna try to put in pictures of different stuff so y'all can see it when I'm talking about. On my dress, I had a, I just want to call it like an overlay. I'm not really sure what it's, the real term that it's called, like a little vest or something. And basically at the last minute, again, week of the wedding, I decided that I wanted to be a little more covered for church, because like our church ceremony was really like, it was very like traditional, because Emmanuel is Anglican, so we had a traditional Anglican ceremony, almost very, very close to like a Catholic ceremony. So, you know, I wanted to be more covered for church since my dress was a tube top dress, no straps or anything. So I went to David's Bridal and I found one. They had like one, and it worked out perfectly for me. And that was a little more pricey. That was about $90. But hey, since my dress was so cheap, I was able, you know, I didn't feel bad about getting that. And it matched perfectly with my dress, and it basically kind of gave me like 2 different looks. So for the church and everything, and in my, you know, pictures at the church, I had that on, and then our after ceremony pictures, I had that on, and then once we got to the reception and me and Emmanuel came out, I took that off, and it was kind of more like, you know, hey, I'm here to party type of thing. Our honeymoon. So on our honeymoon, we definitely saved. I feel like we saved. What I want to say with that is that we did an all-inclusive package from Expedia, and to me, when you're going on a trip, especially like a honeymoon, anniversary trip, stuff like that, the last thing you want to be here thinking about is, you know, you've already spent all this money like going on the trip, and you don't want to be here like, you know, paying for food, paying for drinks and stuff like that. So all inclusive, what I definitely can tell you is the way to go. All inclusive, it's like perfect. We got all of our drinks like every day. You know, we were at the bar from time they open to the time they close. So what I did for that, found everything on Expedia and we got our package deal for a really good price. I want to say, yeah, we paid only like $1,600 for our for the whole everything, for the hotel and our flights. Normally, literally, to go to we went to St. Martin. So normally to go to St. Martin or St. Martin, however you want to say it, to go there, literally flights alone are like $800 each. So to be able to get everything for $1,600, that was perfect. What I did, I looked on Google Flights, and on Google Flights there's actually a thing where you can see like different you can put in, okay, my friend taught me this, who's like an avid traveler, one of my bridesmaids, and she told me to just you go on Google and you put in like your departing city, and then you put in like different dates, and you know, you put in the dates that you're looking for, and you can just see flights to wherever for those different times. So I did that one day, and I happened to find a flight to, I saw this island, you know, St. Martin. And when I say St. Martin is very far, like out in the Caribbean. A lot of people have never even heard of it. I know I had never heard of it, and the flights literally were $390 on Delta, and I was like, what? So I told Emmanuel like, hey, we need to get this now, because after I saw the flight, then I kind of went on Expedia, looked at different I looked at the, you know, options, and they had only a couple of hotels that were all inclusive, and it worked out perfect. I loved everything about our honeymoon. We didn't do too much, we didn't do too little. We were there Monday through Friday. Some days we did an excursion, and then I know one day we just went to the beach and just relaxed the whole day. It was lovely. They had, you know, very high-end restaurants there that you could go to. You had to make reservations, and they had very just laid back. So whatever we were in the mood for that day, we did that. The beach was gorgeous. Everything was gorgeous. I loved St. Martin. So I would definitely go back. I want to go back and take Christian. So that would be awesome. Oh, another thing I wanted to show you guys was these were our champagne flutes, and I got this from Things Remembered, and this was another item that I would say we kind of splurged on, because these were about like $80. I mean, I don't know if that's, you know, expensive or not to some people. I know we could just get literally basic ones at like Hobby Lobby for maybe $20-$30. You can find some, you know, all over online, but I wanted something more personal with our names on it, you know, wedding date, something that we'll be able to just really hold on to. I wanted it to have gold, since that was our wedding colors. It was basically white and gold with a little bit of peach, so it worked out perfectly. Let's see, another thing, the bridesmaids dresses I wanted to talk about. So with the bridesmaids dresses, I know that I originally said that they were all going to have the same style. Well, basically a few months before the wedding, I decided to change that up, and I was like, hey, every girl, you know, has what looks good on them. Every girl you know, would feel more comfortable in a different type of dress. So what I did, I went on the website, Rent the Runway, and I looked at all of their gold glitter dresses. Pretty much all of them were from, what's her name, or I don't know, that designer, Badgley Mishka. Pretty much all of them were from that designer. Only a couple were not. They had 10 different gold dresses, and it worked out perfectly. And I kind of sent the dresses to the girls, and pretty much everyone picked a different dress, which was again perfect. Some of the girls that picked the same dress, I kind of went with whoever picked it first, and then I asked that girl to pick a different one. So we did have some issues at the last minute, and basically my sister ended up with the same dress as my best friend, the maid of honor. But hey, again, it's one of those things that just happens, and it is what it is. So again, it worked out perfectly, and I loved it. The guys' tuxes were from Generation Tux. Everything worked out good. Everyone's tux ended up fitting. We had some issues with guys' tux not fitting perfectly, and they were able to just return it, and you know, they had to just send some pictures in, I think, and they shipped them a new one, I think, and then you just kept everything and shipped everything back together. The other last thing I have to talk about before I answer a few more questions that I got was this. Now, I don't know, this is like our wedding favors. Now, I don't know if like other cultures really do wedding favors, or on what sort of scale they do it on. You know, is it on a larger scale or a smaller scale? But in the Nigerian culture, they really do, you know, they give out like kind of like useful gifts or whatever. So, and this is, I know it's kind of awkward, but this is like a traditional, you know, especially if we were back in the village, like back in Nigeria, stuff like that. people give out like these tote bags with your picture on it, your name on it, and stuff like that. They really go all out with like the personalized stuff. They do stuff, you know, like towels with your pictures on it and plates with your pictures on it. I couldn't go that far, but the gift bag was perfect. I wanted to do that with our picture on it. So the things that we gave out, everyone got a pen. So it's just a simple pen, and on it it said, "Thank you for coming, Emmanuel and Crystal, December 17th, 2016. So everyone got a pen, and then some people got a coffee mug, which again said, they all say the same thing, and then these have pink inside. Or some people got a travel mug, a travel coffee mug. So these were actually a courtesy of our parents of the day. And again, that's something that like in Nigerian culture they do. And basically the parents of the day is kind of like what we would kind of say is like a godparent. It was Emmanuel's auntie and uncle, well, my new auntie and uncle. These were courtesy of them. So you know, we put their name on it and stuff, but again, they just said, you know, the "thank you for coming, Emmanuel and Crystal," with our wedding date on it. That's basically everything that I had to talk about with our wedding, just kind of where we saved and where we splurged. Okay, so now that I've talked all about the wedding, the budgets and everything like that, a few people had some questions. So the first main question that I keep getting is, did my mom come to the wedding? And if she didn't, how did I feel? Okay, so no, my mom did not come to the wedding. And you know, I was a little sad because of who she is in my life, because that is my mother. That is the person that gave birth to me, gave life to me. But at the same time, I wasn't sad because of how she is, if that makes sense. So that's basically how I explained it to Emmanuel and to everyone else. And you know, again, it's her loss, not my loss. She's the one who missed out on my big day. And you know, it is what it is at this point. So I had another question about, was there anything that went wrong that day? A couple of things went wrong, but they weren't like huge. One thing that we didn't get to do at the ceremony, we had our unity candle and we did not get to light that. And then another thing that happened at the reception was that, you know, after the maid of honor gives her speech and the the best man gives his speech, then Emmanuel was supposed to give his thank you speech on behalf of us, and that didn't happen. But again, those weren't like big deals, and you know, it was all fine. So something that I regret that didn't happen, and I heard this all the time, and again, it happened to me. I just didn't get enough pictures. I feel like I didn't get enough pictures, like, you know, going out into the audience, seeing, you know, talking to different people, thinking that we literally, there was never a time that we just like thought like, oh yeah, we have time, let's go out here and let's, you know, go talk to our crowd. And that's just the one thing I regret. I didn't get to like personally get out in the crowd and like move around to the different people. But you know, it was a wedding and it was just short-lived, and you know, I was just very happy that the moment came and went. And one question was, how did I feel when I saw Emmanuel crying when I came down the aisle? I definitely felt like really like overjoyed and everything. It made me want to cry, but then I kept thinking, girl, you can't mess up this makeup. Like, you don't have your wedding, you don't have your makeup artist throughout the rest of the day. And I just kept thinking, I paid so much money for this makeup and I can't mess it up. That's literally what I kept thinking in my head. It was very hard for me to hold back my tears, and you know, it was just something that I've always joked around with him about, that hey, you know, on our wedding day, you better cry, I better see tears. And he always said, I'm not gonna cry, who does that, blah blah blah. And you know, just to see him cry, because Emmanuel is not the type of person who cries a lot. You know, with us being together for almost 11 years, like, you know, I've maybe seen him cry like twice or three, 4 times in our whole relationship. You know, that was really, you know, it was a special moment for me. What was the best part of the wedding? One of the best parts of the wedding was probably when we were like, after the ceremony, we got in the limo, we were just with all of our wedding party, and we were just really turned up. And you know, when we came out, like at the reception, once we came out, and you know, just having our whole wedding party, you know, it was 20 people who really just, you know, actually 22, because we had a junior groomsman and a junior bridesmaid. So, you know, just 22 people who literally have nothing but love for you and just wanted to celebrate you guys. And of course, everyone there, our whole, you know, guest count and everything, everyone, you know, loved us and wishes us the best and everything. But with our wedding party, it was just really like, man, these people are just really here for us. They're turned up for us, and like, when I tell you our wedding party was lit, they were lit. And I don't know, you know, I tried to snap as much as I could on Snapchat. Everyone was just like lit that day. So it was really like, you know, just really good and a turned up time with all of our friends and, you know, family and stuff like that. So that was probably like the best part for me. Okay, so I said, you know, I'll leave all of the vendor information down below. And then what was another one? And then another question I got, someone asked, to talk about budgets. So I did talk about the budget stuff, and basically what I can say with budget is pretty much just, I don't know. With budget, it was so hard because I wanted to stick to our budget so hard, and you know, there would be certain things I'd call him and be like, babe, you know, we're over on this, we're doing this, and he's just like, don't worry about it, just let me know the amount, I'll put it in the account, let's go for it. And you know, the one thing I can say is just, you know, I'm really happy to say that we did not use any credit cards or no loans, anything like that for the wedding. I know everyone is not, you know, able, but you know, if you are, I will definitely just try to say, try your hardest not to, because it's just like, I don't know, just to come in with all that additional stress like after the wedding, and now you need to focus on paying all this stuff off, like, man, you know, just definitely try to look at, you know, take it for what it is, look at everything, and just, you know, really figure out a budget and a plan to save your money effectively, which I mean we did, but again, things just like went over and we added some stuff and did this, and you know, just little things that, you know, we kind of didn't, that I thought could be brought down, but in reality it kind of couldn't. So basically like that, you know. And I mean my wedding planner was on point when she gave me, when we had our first initial meeting, I gave her the guest count and we went over a spreadsheet and she showed me the total. We even went a little over that total. So, you know, some areas were a little cheaper and some areas were more expensive, but in the end, it just all balanced itself out. That's just what it is. Everyone was happy. I got our pictures back from our photographers, and it's basically 1,000 pictures, and I just have to go through all the pictures and pick 50 pictures for our album. So that's really, really tough. And then I have, we're waiting on our you know, final like video from the day of and everything. So basically that's everything. Any other questions, leave it down below. Like I said, I'll leave all of our vendor information. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.